Campfire Classics is a classic literature podcast. However, your hosts will occasionally use not-so-classy language and immature humor to describe very mature situations. As such, listener discretion is advised. Hi, I'm Ken Sandberg.
And I'm Heather Michelle Lawler.
Welcome to Campfire Classics, where we try to read those books that look really good on your shelf.
This week has been a shit show. Oh, yeah, yes.
So this week's Campfire Classics episode does, in fact, feature special guest Britney Spears.
Yes, it's me, I'm back. I got off Instagram and I'm here. Hi, everybody. We last left you the night of the election. Yes? Yeah, we recorded during that day. Hi, welcome to the new regime.
Things. Well, technically, things have not changed yet officially, but we're definitely in prep mode for a lot to go fucking bananas.
I definitely didn't get out of bed for 3 days. I don't know about anyone else, but here we are. We are currently, Ken and I are in Maine because we are working on planning our wedding, and that has been a nice respite for us because it got us out of the of what this week has been, and I'm sure has been for most of our listeners.
So obviously we've done some great stuff in terms of planning the wedding. We've eaten some delicious food. We got to meet with our wedding planner. We got to go through the venue, all of those lovely things. But aside from the obvious, my big takeaway from this week has been like, do something. Find a thing to do and do something, because that's like I was feeling in a real bleak place for a while, and when it was like, yeah, we have this scheduled thing that we have to leave and do, it definitely made a difference, at least on that sort of surface level of just, it's find something that you have to do.
Yeah, find something that either you have to do or brings you joy or brings you, distraction or whatever it is. But yeah, and if you can get away for a few days, that helps because, you get out of your routine. So that has been a nice thing too.
If I can recommend something for you to do that might help to distract you, you could start promoting your favorite podcast to some of your friends.
Indeed.
If you were to, say, take to Instagram and Facebook, and probably not X, formerly known as Twitter,
which we have deactivated our account from, by the way.
I think the world has boycotted that. And let people know that Campfire Classics is providing lighthearted, foul-mouthed, and educational entertainment for everyone. Ages whatever the fuck you want to be and up.
Yeah, I would recommend 18 and up, but fuck it, whatever. The world's ending. Who cares?
And I don't think we say much of anything that I hadn't heard by the time I was in middle school.
And anytime I say the word, you bleep it out.
Damn it!
You're
you
welcome.
Just made so much extra work for me, motherfucker.
That will be the last one, I think, for this episode.
Anyway, do that. Tell your friends about us. That'll give you a way to burn some time.
Yeah.
And of course, just listen to the rest of this episode. You could also go back and listen to back episodes.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Sure. That's good times.
Yeah.
But while we've been in Maine, we've just kind of, been doing the thing. I proved once again I am the master of all claw machines because I showed Ken after dinner the first night here that he let me borrow $1 and I went, okay. And I won on the first go.
One try, one win.
One try, one win.
We
That's
got
how we like to
a strange
roll.
little pink and yellow fuzzy dog.
We've named him Prue Dog because my car's name is Prudence, and now Prue Dog is the mascot.
Prudence the dog. So
Prudence,
please welcome to
Prue
the
Dog.
podcast, Prue Dog.
Prue Dog.
Prue Dog, do you have anything you'd like to say to the people?
Very good. Very shy.
Yeah, I think you made some good points. It was strange. It was eloquent. It was evocative. It did slip a little bit into feeling kind of xenophobic in the middle there, but then I think you pulled it off with that Yogi Berra quote. So well done. Stuck the landing.
Wow. I mean, to be fair, Prue Dog was in a box for a very long time waiting to be rescued. So probably hates white people too.
Yeah. Oh, to be clear, his xenophobia
was towards Americans.
It's towards anyone who is not a stuffed American.
A white stuffed American, yeah.
It's the stuffed animal American, yeah. He has a preference for taxidermied individuals.
Cool. Creepy.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go from there. I think that's a great time to be like, hi, what do we do here on this podcast?
So welcome to Campfire Classics, where we promote taxidermy. That's not true. Welcome to Campfire Classics, where, as I said in our little intro there, we try to read those books that look really good on your shelf. Basically, what that means is we cold read, that'd be the part where we try, short stories that we have pulled from the public domain. Generally speaking, stories that are in public domain are old, and generally speaking, old books look nice. So that's where
really pretty.
That's where the look good on your shelf part comes
Yeah.
in. The downside of being an older book is that, much like older people, sorry to our older listeners, there are occasionally vestiges of antiquated racism, misogyny, and otherwise just stupid language that are rife within the books. And so we make fun of things that are penis jokes now that probably weren't 100 years ago or whenever the crap these stories were read.
That is yes, interesting depiction of yes, that's what we do.
Yeah. Basically, we read the funny stories that are the equivalent of the literary equivalent of the funny stories that your dirty old uncle tells.
My dirty old uncle's like 60.
All right, fair enough. Your grandpa's dirty old uncle.
I guess I don't even know where that is.
That'd be Tales from the Crypt Keeper right there.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, and every week, I think if most of the people listening know this the shtick by now, but we always like to, give a little explanation in case it's your first time and you're like, what the fuck am I listening to right now?
Yeah, some of you who are used to listening might be going, what the fuck am I listening to right now?
I mean, it's been a week, y'all. And y'all know. If you're listening still, you know. We're not have to explain this to anybody.
I kind of hope there are people listening to this like 10 years in the future going, I wonder what they're talking about.
Should we tell them what day it is?
Nah, let them guess.
No, it's fucking November 12th, 2024. So just look it up, kids, in your history textbooks. As long as history textbooks still exist at this time. If not...
If you're living in Texas or Florida, they're probably
don't know.
illegal. So you might have to look it up on the dark web.
So thank you for visiting the dark web. And now we're going to tell you a story.
Anyway, Heather picked a story for me to read.
Yes, we take turns picking the story. And this week it's me. So this is actually an author we have covered before, which, happens a little bit more and more the longer the podcast goes on, because yes, we still find a shocking amount of new authors, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
But we have been wedding planning for the past, 3 days, and it's, I haven't had a ton of time to work on stuff, but I have found a new author, and I have very, very quick fun facts because we've covered the author before. So you can go back and listen to that episode, which I will tell you right now is episode 53. Episode 53 is actually where you can learn the fun facts about this author, which I know were done in quite good detail. So I'm not going to dive too deep into that. But before I even tell you the author, I'm going to tell you the title because, as I like to do, I take the title of the story and I do fun facts based on that because I don't know what the story's about, but the title is always fun and it makes me go.
An evocative title. And
so the title of the story is The Dream Snake.
I'm really bad at making a slithery, hissy sound.
So, because of the recent events and me being a witchy woman, Hecate or Hecate or however you like to pronounce it, who is a goddess who likes to appear as a snake. I thought this was an appropriate day to talk about a few shocking facts about snakes you probably didn't know.
Oh, good.
Ken's favorite animal. And I will point out, 2 days before the damn flood in Asheville, North Carolina that I experienced and all of Western North Carolina experienced, I saw 2 giant fucking black snakes on the trail I was on. Just saying. Okay, so which just tend to mean an omen. But okay, so on our planet, there are over 3,700 snake species.
Oh dear.
And I got all this off oneearth.org, so it's like an environmental.
Sure, yeah.
According to the latest count, there are 37 and 8,900 snake species worldwide. This number continues to rise as more species are being discovered all the time.
Yay. That's what we need.
So when
more demons that run without feet.
When we take over, when we destroy ourselves, the snakes will remain. So at least there's that. The most recent was, and this is in Latin, I apologize, was Phalaenopsis chanella, which is a orange, brown, and red burrowing snake found in Paraguay in May of 2022. Huh. So brand new snakes still coming to light, y'all. So
Phallic Sean?
Phallic Sean, yes.
Yeah.
Phallic Shawnella. Yes, Phallic Sean.
Yeah. So they named it that actually because it looks identical to Wallace Shawn's penis.
Well, Sean, if you're listening, and I know you are, I know you're a big fan of us. I mean, we are a big fan of you. Can you confirm on our Instagram or Facebook? But fuck X because fuck X.
Yeah.
So our second fun fact is snakes have evolved over 142 million years.
So they've been around for a little bit.
Been around for a bit. Unlike that guy we were listening to earlier that was trying to justify why biblical timeline is correct.
6,000 years.
Because apparently floods make things age.
Whatever.
I was like, fuck off, Westboro Baptist Church.
142 million years. This thing has been evolving for 142 million years, and it still doesn't have fucking feet.
Yeah, but it still moves faster than most of us.
Yeah.
So while it is hard to pinpoint when exactly snakes came to be on the planet, because their skeletons actually break down pretty easily. So unless they've been encapsulated in like tar or something that's like preserved their skeleton, then it's hard to find their skeletal remains because very, very, very fine bones.
And bones are biodegradable.
Exactly. So the first fossil record that we have is during the Cretaceous period. So scientists believe that snakes are somewhere from 98 to 142 million years old. But most shocking is that this makes them a younger species than reptiles like crocodiles, lizards, and turtles. So they're actually like the babies. So they actually have plenty of time to develop legs for those of you that are terrified of snakes. They're still like in their teen years.
Hell, they could grow wings.
I mean, fuck it. After the past week, I would not be surprised if a fucking boa constrictor starts flying through the air.
Damn flying cobras.
Jesus Christ. It's like,
I know what you're going to have nightmares about tonight.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening to Campfire Classics, where we give you new nightmares on top of the ones that the news gives you. Hey, a little distraction. So, as most of you know, I know that about 2 days before the flood, I saw one of these in the French Broad River. Many snakes live in water. So, though most of the species live on land, about 70 of those species live in either the ocean or rivers. Some are, in between, but 70 at least live specifically only in water. So happy swimming. Despite looking similar, sea snakes are fully adapted to aquatic life, and some of these cannot even move on land. So some sea snakes never come onto the land.
So what is the difference
between an eel and a snake?
Between an eel and a sea snake?
That is a
Do you
really
have
good
that
question.
pulled up?
I can look it up right now so we have it, because I knew you were going to ask that. I was like, that's a good question. Eel versus sea snake. It's the first thing that came up. Eel versus sea snake. Who would win?
A fight between an eel and a sea snake.
So the main difference between an eel and a sea snake is that a sea snake doesn't have any fins or gills. So an eel is kind of a fish, is actually
So a sea snake is fully adapted to living in water, but it still has to breathe like air, oxygen, gaseous oxygen.
Yep.
Whereas an eel breathes like fishes do with gills.
So eels have fins,
and
sea snakes do not. Tails. Sea snakes have paddle-shaped tails that help them move through the water. And the body shape, eels are flatter and snakes are more cylindrical, the way you'd see them on land. Eels have smaller scales that make them smoother, and sea snakes have scales that are large and easy to see.
More like regular snakes. Yep. So sea snakes, the comparison would be sea snakes are whales because they have to breathe air, while eels are fish.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So it's it's really just and there are many different kinds of sea snakes, because the one I can think of that is actually the first one that pops up when you type in sea snake is kind of a banded black and white. But there are 70 different species. So there can be many different colors, many different things. Basically, people hate sea snakes and eels, from what I can tell.
Yeah, because they're fucking scary.
I love snakes.
It's like a little death torpedo in the water, which is scary enough.
That is true. So enjoy your next swim in the ocean. But because of the world that we're living in now, and how we might now have a leader who doesn't believe in it, snakes will survive because snakes are solar powered. Unlike us and our humanity that does not want to, acknowledge climate change and adapt, snakes are literally solar powered. They are cold-blooded, but their blood isn't actually cold. It derives its warmth from external sources. They literally regulate their body temperature and can run off of sun alone without eating for long periods of time.
Huh.
So sun, they're like Wall-E. As long as they get into the sun.
Snakes can actually survive just off the D.
The D, getting the big D. Yep, the big vitamin D, which I did not get for 3 days after the election results. But it's true. So, but snakes literally, that's why they don't have to eat as often. They can recharge their body and get energy just off of solar power. So
who was the one woman on Naked and Afraid who tried to do that?
She was like that vegan lady.
That like hippie
Weird
vegan who was
hippie,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to eat bugs. I don't want to eat fish. I don't want to eat
I
it.
don't even like to eat mushrooms because it hurts their soul.
I'm going to nibble on this grass and I'm going to sit in the sunshine.
Lay in the water in the sun. She made it, y'all. She made it 21
hey,
days.
Credit where credit's due. She
did
it.
I was like, that bitch gonna die in the wilderness, but she made it. So maybe she's part snake. Who knows? And finally, to give you all solace in this, what might have been horrific for many of you, like Ken, these fun facts of snakes. Snakes are actually essential to our ecosystem. So whether they are on land or at sea, snakes keep populations very much in balance. So without them, the food chain would absolutely collapse because there would be an overrunning of small mammals like rodents, birds, amphibians, insects. So like New York, you might want to get some snakes up in the subway system.
We should. So snakes on a train.
Snakes
is
on a train.
The new.
That's the new MTA's like selling point. They're like,
I'm trying to get these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking train.
Because have you seen the rats in New York lately? Holy shit. So their presence is really necessary, and it's just like they're an essential part of this planet. They play as much as their reputation has been tarnished by the Bible, much like women. They are actually incredible creatures that are a essential part of our world, and they are evolutionary wonders that like scientists to this day are like, wow, what are these? And they have just stood the test of time. The last line in the article I'm reading off of says, despite having no legs, they are still here longer than we've ever been.
Evolutionary wonders in the sense of, I wonder how they evolved this way.
And here we are. So with those 5 fun facts of snakes, we are going to read this week. As I said, the title of the story is The Dream Snake.
Great. So it's a snake that doesn't even have to follow the basic rules of real life snakes.
Aren't we excited? And it is by, some of you may remember, the author is the author of the original Conan the Barbarian stories. His
Ron
name
Howard.
is Robert E. Howard.
Ron Howard.
Yep. And this is from Weird Tales in February of 1928.
All right. Let's start this fire. The Dream Snake by Robert E. Howard. The night was strangely still. As we sat upon the wide veranda gazing over the broad, shadowy lawns, the silence of the hour entered our spirits, and for a long while, no one spoke.
Fuck, is this about election night?
I remember that feeling.
Yeah. Shit.
A big part of why we chose not to host an election night party this year
Oh my God.
is because we did host one in 2016.
Yes,
and
we
it
did.
was that wild
It was a
thing
pantsuit
of
party. Yep.
there was this amazing, incredible, positive, rambunctious energy, and as the night went on, things just slowly got quiet and weird.
As I've told most people, and I think I've even mentioned on this podcast before, I'm surprised I didn't bring it up last week, is it is the only party that I've been to that like everyone was having a fan-fucking-tastic time and like great people. Nobody was like, there was no animosity in that party against people, and there was no drama. It was the only party in that sense where it literally got quieter the more people drank, because literally everyone was just staring at a television in awe and wonder and disgust.
Yep.
And then we opened up the really good whiskey.
Yeah. Although, as I told a couple of my friends this year, gearing up for the election, as we were all nervous that things were going to turn out for the worst, which they more or less did.
Yeah.
At least this time around, it's not, for me, it's not on top of the fact that on the same day my dad moved into hospice care.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you for small favors, world.
Anyway, it's really
on.
quiet on the veranda and no one's speaking. Then, far across the dim mountains that fringed the eastern skyline, a faint haze began to glow. And presently, a great golden moon came up, making a ghostly radiance over the land and etching boldly the dark clumps of shadows that were trees. A light breeze came whispering out of the east, and the unmowed grass swayed before it in long, sinuous waves dimly visible in the moonlight. And from among the group upon the veranda, there came a swift gasp, a sharp intake of breath that caused us all to turn and gaze.
Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? I mean, they're in the mountains. It's dark. Everyone's chilling on a porch. I assume there's a bear and a toddler going, I'll pet that dog.
Faming, which is apparently someone's name.
Oh. What a fun last name.
Faming. That's an odd name.
Or it's a weird first name.
Hello. My name is Faming Lamingson.
My name is Faming Flowering Farting Ferguson.
Farting Ferguson, huh?
Yeah, my name is Farting Ferguson, yes.
Which was the original title for the song Waltzing Matilda, but they decided...
You know what? I want to hear the song Farting Ferguson.
Farting Ferguson, Farting Ferguson. Jesus Christ. Faming was leaning forward. So it's leaning faming. Faming was leaning forward, clutching the arms of his chair, his face strange and pallid in the spectral light. A thin trickle of blood seeping from the lip in which he had set his teeth. Amazed, we looked at him, and suddenly he jerked about with a short, snarling laugh. "There's no need of gawking at me like a flock of sheep," he said irritably, and stopped short. We sat bewildered, scarcely knowing what sort of reply to make. And suddenly he burst out again. "Now I guess I'd better tell the whole thing, or you'll be going off and putting me down as a lunatic. Don't interrupt me, any of you. I want to get this thing off my mind. You all know that I'm not a very imaginative man, but there's a thing, purely a figment of imagination, that has haunted me since babyhood. A dream." He fairly cringed back in his chair as he muttered, "A dream, and God, what a dream. The first time, no, I can't remember the first time I ever dreamed it. I've been dreaming the hellish thing ever since I can remember. Now, it's this way. There's a sort of bungalow set upon a hill in the midst of wide grasslands, not unlike this estate, but this scene is in Africa, and I am living there with a sort of servant, a Hindu. Just why I am there..."
Mild racism there.
Well, we don't know that's racist. Hindu is purely descriptive at this point.
Hindu is just a religion, I guess.
Where he is telling us what type of person that his servant happens to be.
And he did say servant, not slave, so we're doing okay.
I'm really hoping he doesn't say anything racist that I have to do some clever talking around.
We got this. Okay.
It does suck that every time,
anytime any Africa is brought up, or even the South, which apparently we're in both this time.
Listeners, we do go out of our way to try to find some sort of cultural diversity in these stories. We've read stories from other countries. We try, but the problem is that if you're going with English language literature from more than 100 years ago, anytime they start talking about other cultures, it gets uncomfortable.
Also, equality. Not really.
Well, I mean, there's not a huge availability, yeah, and that's
for women, for people of color, for people not of European descent. So we try. We do try, and we don't know where this is going.
Yep.
But the writer is originally from Texas, so what are we gonna do?
And last week we brought you a story from an author who's a woman.
Yes.
Who also happened to be anti-suffrage.
Anti-suffrage, which was poor fucking timing considering what happened.
Anyway, sorry for that.
World. But anyway,
where were
I
we?
interrupted his dream even though he told me not to. So fuck you, dude.
Don't interrupt. I need to get it off my mind.
So he's living with a sort of servant, a Hindu man.
Yep.
Okay.
Just why I am there is never clear to my waking mind, though I am always aware of the reason in my dreams. As a man of a dream, I remember my past life, a life which in no way corresponds with my waking life, but when I am awake, my subconscious mind fails to transmit these impressions. However, I think that I am a fugitive from justice, and the Hindu is also a fugitive.
Ooh, it's like Inglourious Bastards. I don't know. It's these two guys that are from different backgrounds, and they're we're running from the law. What is it? Blazing Saddles. it's Blazing Saddles. That's what we got here.
I like that. It's Butch Cassidy and the Hindu Kid.
I've actually seen a lot of clips from Blazing Saddles this week of people being people need to be more aware of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of the clip that I don't remember it word for word because it's been ages, but it's Gene Wilder saying,
making him laugh.
You have to remember
most people
these
are fucking morons.
These are small town, country, working class, salt of the earth people. Morons.
And
Anyway.
So the fun thing about that whole clip that you're talking about is the best part about it is when Gene Wilder is saying that line into Cleveland Little's ear. He's doing the script until he gets to, morons. And that's what makes it so funny. It's because he
was morons an improv?
Yeah. Yeah, he was just saying you got to understand where we are. You got to understand these people are simple and they don't understand. They've never been exposed to anything. And then just because Gene Wilder was a fucking brilliant improver and that's why he was so good in all these styles of films. He said, morons. Little just fucking lost it because he basically said what everyone's thinking, and it got kept and put in the film. So
and that's what we're all thinking now, which is why that clip is making the rounds again.
So everyone go watch some Mel Brooks because we all need it. We all need some laughter. Now back to the snakes on the trains or planes or the Sahara or wherever we are.
I like snakes on a train.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. But anyway, here we are. We're in Blazing Saddles Africa edition with this person.
Where was I? Hindu is also a fugitive.
Yep.
How the bungalow came to be there, I can never remember, nor do I know in what part of Africa it is, though all these things are known to my dream self. But the bungalow is a small one of a very few rooms, and it's situated upon the top of the hill. As I said, there are no other hills about, and the grasslands stretch to the horizon in every direction, knee-high in some places, waist-high in others. I don't know why I am hanging on to his really angry, agitated energy. He is so tense through this whole story.
So, not only is he very tense, it sounds like he's like clenching a stick in his butthole. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's afraid everyone's going to judge him. So he's like...
He's afraid everyone's going to judge
Everybody, just listen.
Don't fucking interrupt me. Now, the dream always opens as I am coming up the hill just as the sun is beginning to set. I am carrying a broken rifle, and I have been on a hunting trip. How the rifle was broken and the full deals of the trip I clearly remember. Dreaming, but never upon waking. It is just as if a curtain were suddenly raised and a drama began, or as if I were suddenly transferred into another man's body and life, remembering past years of that life and not cognizant of any other existence. And that is the hellish part of it. As you know, most of us dreaming are at the back of our consciousness aware that we are dreaming. No matter how horrible the dream may become, we know that it is a dream, and thus insanity or possible death is staved off. But in this particular dream, there is no such knowledge. I tell you, it is so vivid, so complete in every detail that I wonder sometimes if that is not my real existence and this a dream. But no, for then I should have been dead years ago.
Wow, this is like some fucking Inception shit.
As I was saying, I come up the hill, and the first thing I am cognizant of that is out of the ordinary is a sort of track leading up the hill in an irregular way. That is, the grass is mashed down as if something heavy had been dragged over it, but I pay no especial attention to it, for I am thinking with some irritation that the broken rifle I carry is my only arm, and now I must forego hunting until I can send for another.
This guy needs a shot of whiskey or like a massage or something. He's stressed out.
A happy ending.
Snake bite. And by snake bite, I mean like, you know, a Guinness and a cider.
Yeah. Where were the other day that had Guinness and champagne?
That was this morning. That was breakfast. Wasn't it?
No, it was oysters.
Oh, yeah. It was last night. Yeah. Yeah, we were checking out one of the awesome local bars here, and it's in Bath, Maine, and it's a sister-run organization called Oysters.
Very cool place. Go check it out if you happen to be in the area.
Yep, just opened last year. And one of their cocktails, because they only do beer and wine, is they have a cocktail that is, I forget what it was called, but it's Guinness and champagne.
It was something like classy snake bite, or
yeah, it was like the forbidden snake bite. I think it was forbidden snake bite. Was that it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, but we were like, ooh, we didn't get it because I didn't want beer at that time. But I was just like, what?
Anyway, whatever it was called, it was delicious.
Yeah, it was.
Or
very,
it
very
sounded
yummy.
delicious.
Yeah,
and everything they had was delicious.
It
had a sparkling.
Oh yeah, that sparkling Shiraz you had was very
really
fucking good. Yeah.
Right. For some reason, he has a broken rifle for an arm,
Yeah,
which
why
I suppose
does he
is
have a broken rifle for an arm?
better than having a broken rifle for a penis.
Just shooting blanks.
Hate it. Hate to hear it.
It's just like, you know, going at the right angle because it got bent in a tree. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be tough to use if it was like that broken at a right angle.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to be pleasant for anyone involved.
No.
You see, I remember thoughts and impressions of the dream itself, of the occurrences of the dreams. It is the memories that the dream I had of that other dream existence that I cannot remember. So, I come up the hill and enter the bungalow. The doors are open and the Hindu is not there. But the main room is in confusion. Chairs are broken. The table is overturned. The Hindu's dagger is lying upon the floor. But there is no blood anywhere.
It's usually a good sign when there's not blood anywhere.
Generally speaking, yeah. If I walk into a room and I look around and the first thing I notice is that there's not blood anywhere, why is that the first thing I noticed?
It's like, were you expecting blood to be everywhere? Because I have a feeling you're up to no good if that was the first thing you were expecting.
Now, in my dreams, I never remember the other dreams, as sometimes one does. Always, it is the first dream, the first time. I always experience the same sensations in my dreams with as vivid a force as the first time I ever dreamed. So I am not able to understand this. The Hindu is gone, but thus I ruminate standing in the center of the disordered room. What did away with him?
Oh, God.
Had it been a raiding party, they would have looted the bungalow and probably burned it. Had it been a lion, the place would have been smeared with blood. Then suddenly I remember the track I saw going up the hill, and a cold hand touches my spine, for instantly the whole thing is clear. The thing that came up from the grasslands and wrought havoc in the little bungalow could be naught else except a giant serpent.
Of course.
And as I think of the size of the spore, cold sweat beads on my forehead, and the broken rifle shakes in my hand.
You know what I think when shit's gone wrong in my house, and it's definitely not, like robbers or
a lion.
A lion it's definitely a giant snake.
Have I talked on
only option?
Have I talked on the podcast of one of my 2 ever recurring dreams?
I don't think so. We were talking about this the other day.
I am at a picnic with my family. Mm-hmm. This is when I am a child. My brother is also there, and it's, my parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and everything. And we're on this hilltop having a picnic. Mm-hmm. And the fog rolls in around the hilltop. And at first, it's very idyllic to look at because we're on the hilltop and the fog is all below us. Mm-hmm. And so, like, trees are disappearing into the fog, and you're looking out, and it's that sort of looking over Scotland in the the mist
the
sort of
moors.
thing.
Yeah.
It's that kind of vibe at first. And then a long, fuzzy tendril reaches out of the mist and drags someone down from the top of the hill and into the mist. And the mist keeps encroaching and gets thicker and deeper, and the sky gets gray and cloudy. And this they keep coming up, not gray, fuzzy tendril, they keep coming up sort of one at a time and dragging people down as the world keeps sort of shrinking down in the mist. And it turns out, as the dream goes on, we slowly realize, those brown and black caterpillars, the fuzzy brown and black caterpillars? Mm-hmm. It's a fucking 200-foot long one of those that is just wrapping itself around people's legs and dragging them down into the mist.
So why are you afraid of snakes? Because I think you should be afraid of fucking fuzzy caterpillars.
Yep. Recurring dream.
Well, hey, look, I found your, maybe you read this as a child and you don't remember.
Maybe somebody read me this as a child. Anyway.
Gee, I wonder why you had these dreams.
Then I rushed to the door in a wild panic, my only thought to make a dash for the coast. But the sun has set and dusk is stealing across the grasslands, and out there somewhere lurking in the tall grass is that grisly thing, that horror. God! The ejaculation broke from his lips.
Whoa! I was not ready for the ejaculation.
I wasn't ready for the ejaculation to be on his lips.
Oh, yeah. Why is it on his lips?
I mean, I think we know why the ejaculation was on his lips.
But he's there alone.
No. Because this is the narrator talking. It's not in the dream. He's not there alone.
Oh, okay.
So he's talking to his friends.
He just came out of the quotes for the ejaculation. Yeah. Oh, got it.
Yeah. So he's talking to his friends about this dream, and he says, and out there somewhere lurking in the tall grass is that grisly thing, that horror. God! And on the word God, ejaculation breaks from his lips.
Wow. You know what really gets me turned on? It's being stuck in a fucking bungalow where the dune worm is out there waiting for me to run to the coast.
Do you think bungalow in the grasslands is the new cabin in the woods?
I think it is. I mean, it's very, very, very topical with Dune and, all that shit.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, the sandworm. I mean, this guy created the fantasy genre. Sure, fuck.
The ejaculation broke from his lips with such a feeling that all of us started not realizing the tension we had reached.
That's called premature ejaculation, usually, if you don't even realize the tension that has been reached.
Apparently, all of them in the room
kind of felt that.
Did it at once.
Yeah, they all ejaculated at the same
time. So it's
time.
probably not just on his lips. It's probably all over the place.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely spread all over the room.
Yep.
This is many genres of thing you can search on internet now. I just read the next line before you said it, and I'm like, wow, we're just getting going here.
There was a second's silence. Then he continued. Wow, they only needed a second of refractory period.
Whew, they're ready to go.
So I bolt the doors and windows, light the lamp I have, and take my stand in the middle of the room. And I stand like a statue, waiting, listening. After a while, the moon comes up, and her haggard light drifts through the windows.
Don't you be fucking shit-talking the moon, you fucking asshole. First of all, he gendered her, and the moon is fabulous. And bitch, you just ejaculated on yourself about a mystery snake. Get over yourself.
He did ejaculate over a snake and then call the moon haggard.
Yeah. This is some your body, my choice fucking Nick Fuentes shit. If you're not familiar with what's going on in the world, I apologize.
I hope this is old news that by the time you are listening to this, everyone has forgotten.
You're like, oh, him? Yeah, he's
Nick
at Guantanamo now.
He's not even on Google anymore.
He is literally behind bars for the rest of his life.
He doesn't matter.
Nope.
And I stand still in the center of the room. The night is very still, something like this night. The breeze occasionally whispers through the grass, and each time I start and clench my hands until the nails bite into the flesh and the blood trickles down my wrists, and I stand there and wait and listen, but it does not come that night. The sentence came suddenly and explosively.
Wow, that was quick. That was a quick rebound.
And an involuntary sigh came from the rest. A relaxing of tension.
Wow. From one ejaculation to an explosion that made everyone involuntarily sigh. I mean, that was a quick rebound.
Yep.
This is a very, very, very sensual story we got going.
I am determined, if I live the night through, to start for the coast early the next morning, taking my chance out there in the grim grasslands. With it. But With morning, I dare not. I do not know in which direction the monster went. Yes, you fucking do. You saw its tracks.
I was gonna say, didn't you see like the tracks? Like it wasn't it like literally it was like fucking
a crop circle?
Crop circling your fucking grasslands. If it's a giant snake, you know where it was.
You saw the tracks. You know which way. Whatever.
He's ejaculated twice.
It's hard to remember things, yeah. I dare not risk coming upon him in the open, unarmed as I am. Well, don't do that.
You should not do that. That is called assault, sir. No wonder he wants to attack you if you even have those thoughts. Don't come upon him in the middle of the grass.
Yeah, don't do it in the open at very least. Get consent first, and then do it in the privacy of your own bungalow.
Yeah, get back to the bungalow and do what you need to do. You're both consenting adults. It's going to be okay.
So, as in a maze, I remain at the bungalow, and ever my eyes turn toward the sun, lurching relentless down the sky toward the horizon. Oh, God, if I could but hope the sun in the sky. The man was in the clutch of some terrific power. His words fairly leaped at us. Then the sun rocks down the sky, and the long gray shadows come stalking across the grasslands. Dizzy with fear, I have bolted the doors and windows and lighted the lamp long before the last faint glow of twilight fades. The light from the windows may attract the monster, but I dare not stay in the dark. And again, I take my stand in the center of the room, waiting.
So he just sat there all day?
He sat there
doing nothing?
All day, doing not a goddamn thing.
He didn't, set up some booby traps, didn't,
Right? Go Kevin McAllister on this bitch.
Fucking put some Legos on the ground and, a blowtorch when the door opens. I mean, come the fuck on if has he not seen Home Alone?
Clearly not.
Or ever seen a Looney Tunes cartoon? I mean, come on.
Seriously, just sing Flight of the Valkyries at it and it'll shudder in terror.
Fuck, man.
There was a shuddersome halt. Then he continued, barely above a whisper, moistening his lips.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
There is no knowing how long I stand there. Time has ceased to be, and each second is an eon. Each minute is an eternity, stretching into endless eternities. Then, God, but what is that? He leaned forward, the moonlight etching his face into such a mask of horrified listening that each of us shivered and flung a hasty glance over our shoulders. Not the night breeze this time, he whispered. Something makes the grasses swish, swish, as if a great, long plaint weight were being dragged through them. Above the bungalow, it swishes and then creases. In front of the door, then the hinges creak. Creak. The door begins to bulge inward a small bit, then some more. The man's arms were held in front of him as if braced strongly against something, and his breath came in quick gasps. And I know I should lean against the door and hold it shut, but I do not. I cannot move. I stand there like a sheep, waiting to be slaughtered, but the door holds. Again, that sigh, expressive of pent-up feeling. He drew a shaky hand across his brow. And all night I stand in the center of that room as motionless as an image, except to turn slowly as the swish, swish of the grass marks the fiend's course about the house. Ever I keep my eyes in the direction of the soft, sinister sound. Sometimes it ceases for an instant or for several minutes, and then I stand scarcely breathing, for a horrible obsession has it that the serpent has in some way made entrance into the bungalow, and I start and whirl this way and that, frightfully fearing of making a noise, though I know not why, but ever with the feeling that the thing is at my back. Then the sounds commence again, and I freeze, motionless.
I think this guy needs some Xanax or like something. This is like when you go camping and like it's like raccoons. It's like, it's the devil. The devil's here.
It's like the night we went camping in Creed.
Oh, yeah.
And we went up there, and she told us that they had spotted a mountain lion in the area.
Yep.
And we enjoyed the camping trip.
Oh, it was great.
Had a great time. It was a beautiful sight. And the fire was burning. And every time I heard so much as a crackle from the leaves behind me, I was convinced that was the last thing I would ever hear.
The mountain lion was
The mountain lion was about to jump out of the trees and maul me to death.
Us. Yep. I remember I needed to pee in the middle of the night, and there was a little outhouse, and I was terrified to go out there because I'm like, I don't want to die on my way to the outhouse because of mountain lion standing out there.
I don't want to die with a full bladder. Is cool. I'll just pee right here, thanks.
Just hold it and get a urinary tract infection. It's fine. Yeah, exactly. It's like, this guy, he doesn't even know what's outside. It's probably just some fucking trees blowing in the wind.
The answer, my friend.
His Hindu friend probably went to the fucking grocery store 2 towns away. And
his Hindu friend is fucking with him.
Okay, that'd be amazing.
He's just dragging a giant 2x4 around behind him, leaving those like deep grooves in the grass.
He got his own little tent, and he went off and like hung out by the beach, and then at night he's coming in and fucking with them. Yep.
Banging on the door.
I love it. He's like, who's a little bitch now?
Now, here is the only time that my consciousness, which guides my waking hours, ever in any way pierces the veil of dreams. I am, in the dream, in no way conscious that it is a dream, but in a detached sort of way, my other mind recognizes certain facts and passes them on to my sleeping, shall I say, ego?
Ooh, we must be in the Freud era.
That is to say, my personality is, for an instant, truly dual and separate to an extent, as the right and left arms are separate, while making up parts of the same entity. My dreaming mind has no cognizance of my higher mind. For the time being, the other mind is subordinated to the subconscious mind, is in full control, to such an extent that it does not even recognize the existence of the other. But the conscious mind, now sleeping, is cognizant of dim thought waves emanating from the dream mind. I know that I have not made this entirely clear, but the fact remains that I know that my mind, conscious and subconscious, is near to ruin. My obsession of fear as I stand there in my dream is that the serpent will raise itself and peer into the window at me. And I know in my dream that if this occurs, I shall go insane. And so vivid is the impression imparted to my conscious, now sleeping mind that the thought waves stir the dim seas of sleep, and somehow I can feel my sanity rocking as my sanity rocks in my dream. Back and forth it totters and sways until the motion takes on a physical aspect, and I, in my dream, am swaying from side to side. Not always is the sensation the same, but I tell you, if that horror ever raises its terrible shape and leers at me, if I ever see the fearful thing in my dream, I shall become stark, wild, insane. There was a restless movement among the rest. God, but what a
This guy
prospect.
really needs a drink. Can you get him a drink?
Or a nap.
Yeah, I don't think he slept but like, this is the funny thing. He's talking about his dream self, but like, he's telling the dream to these people. And I'm like, I think you've gotten so freaked out by this dream that I don't think you've slept in a while, sir.
Yeah.
I think you are actually going insane.
I'm pretty sure these are hallucinations that you think are dreams because you can't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe this is a dream.
We shall find out.
God, but what a prospect, he muttered. To be insane and forever dreaming that same dream night and day. But there I stand, and centuries go by. But at last, a dim gray light begins to steal through the windows, the swishing dies away in the distance, and presently a red, haggard sun climbs the eastern sky. Then I turn about and gaze into a mirror, and my hair has become perfectly white. I stagger to the door and fling it wide. There is nothing in sight but a wide track leading away down the hill through the grasslands in the opposite direction from that which I would take toward the coast.
Yeah, bitch, see? Like, well, I told you, there's a fucking track. Go the other way.
You can see it. It's right there.
You say you want to go to the coast. It's literally going the opposite way. Go the fucking out there.
And with a shriek of maniacal laughter, I dash down the hill and race across the grasslands. I race until I drop from exhaustion. Then I lie until I can stagger up and go on. All day I keep this up with superhuman effort, spurred on by the horror behind me, and ever as I hurl myself forward on weakening legs, ever as I lie gasping for breath, I watch the sun with a terrible eagerness. How swiftly the sun travels when a man races it for life. A losing race it is, as I know when I watch the sun sinking toward the skyline and the hills which I have to gain ere sundown, seemingly as far away as ever.
Must be daylight savings time.
Yeah, I fucking hate daylight savings. Fucking Ben Franklin.
Fuck you, Ben Franklin. The sun's definitely going down way earlier than you wanted to.
Yeah.
I feel that.
The sun was going down at fucking like 4:15 today.
I know. It's because we're so far north. Too.
Yeah.
Like,
But good Lord, that was nuts.
Yeah. It was like pitch black dark at 5 o'clock. Like, I was like,
Absolutely insane. We were sitting there at flight deck, and I was looking outside going, man, I'm kind of getting sleepy.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at the darkness in the sky, and we'd had a couple of we were doing the sample pours of their beers. By the way, Flight Deck Brewery, really good stuff. They have some delicious things.
Good stuff.
We were sitting there. I was looking out, going like, yeah, it's like I'm kind of getting ready for bed. It's 4:45.
Most people are still at work. Cool.
His voice was lowered, and instinctively we leaned toward him. He was gripping the chair arms, and the blood was seeping from his lip. Then the sun sets, and the shadows come, and I stagger on and fall and rise and reel on again, and I laugh.
Yeah, you're not okay, buddy.
Then I cease, for the moon comes up and throws the grasslands in ghostly and silvery relief. The light is white across the land, though the moon itself is like blood. And I look back the way I have come, and far back. All of us leaned forward toward him, our hair a prickle. His voice came like a ghostly whisper. Far back, I see the grass waving. There is no breeze, but the tall grass parts and sways in the moonlight in a narrow, sinuous line far away, but nearing every instant. His voice died away. Somebody broke the ensuing stillness. And then... Then I awake. Never yet have I seen the foul monster, but that is the dream that haunts me, and from which I have wakened in my childhood, screaming in my manhood in a cold sweat. At irregular intervals I dream it, and each time lately... He hesitated and then went on. Each time lately, the thing has been getting closer, closer. The waving of the grass marks his progress, and he nears me with each dream. And when he reaches me, then... He stopped short. Then, without a word, rose abruptly and entered the house, and the rest of us sat silent for a while. Then followed him, for it was late. How long I slept, I do not know, but I woke suddenly with the impression that somewhere in the house someone had laughed, long, loud, and hideously, as a maniac laughs. Starting up, wondering if I had been dreaming, I rushed from my room just as a truly horrible shriek echoed through the house. The place was now alive with other people who had been awakened, and all of us rushed to Faming's room whence the sound had seemed to come. Faming lay dead upon the floor, where it seemed he had fallen in some terrific struggle. There was no mark upon him, but his face was terribly distorted, as the face of a man who has been crushed by some superhuman force, such as some gigantic snake. The end.
Ew. Ew. What did it remind me of? I feel like there's a movie or something where like somebody dreams things and things get closer and closer. Like I feel I keep, like near the end I was like, oh, this is reminding me of something.
I don't know. So what it made me think of a little bit. There was actually very little in common with it, except for the fact that they're both about dreams. But did you ever see the movie Dreamscape?
We've talked about this. I don't think I have.
It's actually kind of a freaky movie about basically people who can enter your dreams and like murder you in your dreams.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's creepy.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know what it was. Like it was like almost like a childhood memory or maybe a dream. It was reminding me of like a movie or something I'd seen where when they sleep, the thing, whatever they fear the most, gets closer, and then when it gets there,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean, similar,
because Freddy Krueger he attacks you in your dreams.
Yeah. I mean, yes. So there you go.
Anyway,
whew.
That was actually pretty spooky. That was a good one.
Spooky.
There was some good language, some good imagery.
Really
I kind of like that one.
We got an ejaculation in there.
It's always nice to get an ejaculation in.
Always got to get one in these old stories. It's like literally the dream.
Yeah. I think the last time a Campfire Classics story had an ejaculation was one of the stories I was reading by myself. So the last ejaculation was a solo job.
Well, I'm glad I got to help you this. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Hey, listeners, did you enjoy that story? I hope you did. So I have a question for you. In addition to all of the other stuff, when you write in this week to Campfire Classics podcast on any of our social media or 5050artsproduction@gmail.com, answer this question. What recurring dream have you had? Inquiring minds want to know.
I mean, I know mine, but I'll share it next week.
Yeah, share it next week alongside any responses that we get to this message.
You can be
recurring
as detailed
dreams,
or as sparse as pop. Like you can just be like, I have a recurring dream about snakes too.
Yeah.
And that can be it. But like,
recurring dreams, or if you're not one who has recurring dreams, but you remember a very vivid dream, either recently or from childhood, a dream that has stuck with you. Mm-hmm. And I know the way dreams work, sometimes details get fuzzy. So like, if you're going, oh yeah, I had that dream about like a pond and some moss, but I don't remember the details. Well, say that. Yeah. Like, yeah, I have a recurring dream about a pond and some moss.
My recurring dream has one major theme to it, but like the rest, the details are different every time. So yeah.
So let us know. So shoot us that email or message or whatever it is you have. And when you do go ahead and include this week's secret passcode, which is the ejaculation broke from his lips.
Yeah, sounds good. That's a long passcode. But it's good. It's. I mean, I'm sure it was.
It clearly was for somebody. Apparently, he did his job. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I think that's all I got this week. You got anything else?
That's all I got. Everyone, take care of yourselves. And we'll get through this. We'll get through this with love and laughter together.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're
fucking fighting, fucking bullshit. Yeah.
And we're going to keep doing obviously as much stuff as we can overtly. We're going to keep fighting the good fight and all those things, but I at least feel like a huge part of what I can do and a big part of the best way I can be of service with my relatively limited skill set is to help keep up morale. So we will be producing this podcast as we have been, in hopes that even if it's only for like an hour a week, it helps bring you to a place of peace and hopefully even a little bit of joy and laughter. Yeah, just like that. So that's it for this week. And until next week, this has been Campfire Classics, where we try to read those books that look really good on your shelf.
The full moon is coming, so get out there and charm a snake and put a spell upon the patriarchy. That's all I got for you. Peace.
Put a spell on you.
And now you're gone.